Okay, so starting out, we've got a split squat. I like to elevate my front foot, helps me get more of that knee over toe, knee flexion action. So I'll demonstrate a few reps. Forward and down, closing off that space between the hamstring and calf, pressing back up through. Forward, down, pressing back up. 3, 4, 5, good. Other side, same thing, get your balance. Forward and down, pressing back up. Forward and down, pressing back up. If your mobility is good and you don't need the step, you have good ankle range, where you can get that knee out over the toe, closing off that hamstring calf space, don't worry about the step. If you need to have an even higher step to help close that space off, that's perfectly fine too. Start where you need to start, progress over time. Next move, we got a stretch strength deadlift. So RDL. From here, hips are going back, down front of the legs, stand and squeeze. I'll show you from this side. Don't feel like moving the step. Reach. This angle. Reaching those hips back, 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 back. So we're not just going down, we're pushing hips back, letting those bells slide down the front of the leg, stand and squeeze. Okay, we got a VMO squat. We've got some options here. If you've got a slant board, beautiful, right? Or wedges are good. Slant board, you can stand all the way on and keep your feet off the front. Whatever's best for you. I'm gonna go all the way on, haven't done this in a while. All the way on, down, staying tall with the torso, back up. 2, 3. Other option, smaller dumbbells. Set them up side by side. Heels on the dumbbell, make sure the pressure's in the heel, not the arch. Same idea. Down tall, back up. Elbows should be coming about mid-quad, mid-thigh. Or your step would work just as well too from the side. Gives you actually a higher platform. Down tall, mid-thigh, back up. Tall, back up. That's our VMO squat. All right, for our next one, if you have a kettlebell, cool. Because that could be a variation we need to do. But ultimately, if you have a bench, this is going to be the best one, in my opinion. Seated good morning. We want those knees slightly lower than the hips. So wherever you got to be for that, get those knees slightly lower than the hips. Knees outside the hips, in line with the ankles and toes. So toes are pointed outwards. Feet are not straight ahead. We want everything in line from that hip to the knee, to the ankle, to the toes. Dumbbells for our seated good morning. Or you can go no weight. And then we're just working forward and down with that arched back. Big chest, reaching those hands for the floor, feeling that in the hips. Pulling yourself back up as low as you can handle, okay? Or with dumbbells, we're down and up. Down, flat back, and up. Only go until you feel like that low back might compromise. Variation. If we can't do that, if we don't have that access to that bench, we're going to do same position with the feet, thinking the same thing. Knees out over the ankles and toes. Tall, down with that bell, back up. Into kind of like a sumo squat. I'm not calling this a deadlift because I'm leading with the knees, not with that hip, not with those hips. Down, up. 2, last one. Boom. Okay, those are 2 variations. Your choice based on what you have access to. Again, if we have the bench exercise, it's going to be, I kind of just call this a bench crunch, but I want to sit close to the edge, almost like we're going to fall off. Hands right next to our bottom. Reaching back, let the forearms hang on the bench, nice and flat, crunch together. Out flat, crunch together. Boom. Boom. So we're getting those abs, the rectus abdominis. We're also working with the weight of our legs, those hip flexors, which is the goal. Other option is going to be bell on the floor, whichever, kettlebell, dumbbell, doesn't matter. We're lined up right over the top, going up and over. So squeeze together as you come up, extend out as you come down. In, out, in, out, in, out. Same idea. Still getting the abs because we're in that crunched position somewhat, but also hitting those hip flexors. Last move is going to be to target those QLs. The way that it's said in the song is side bends, right? And sit-ups. But please don't lose that butt, right? Okay. Side bends. Reaching that bell as low as we can towards that knee. And then, boom. Trying to get that opposite hand, boom, to the other knee. Boom. Boom. Having strong QLs is going to help that low back. A lot of times that low back gets triggered because our QLs are tight. Strengthening them is going to help loosen them. Remember to do both sides. Never holding a weight in both sides. We want this weight to pull us down, and then this side over here empty to do the work, boom, to pull it back. Reaching as far as you can to that knee. Reaching to the knee, letting this side stretch, boom. Contract. Contract. Again, kettlebell's fine. You could throw a band on there if you want to as well. Creatine. 1 giant scoop for man. extra half a scoop for mankind. Ignition. Fast digesting carbohydrate powder. Carbs post-workout are a must. Something that can get into your system quickly and then allow your fast digesting protein to get into your system. Folks, if your protein doesn't tell you that it's low temperature processed, it's probably processed at high temps, meaning it's very denatured, which means it's less like its original form. Therefore, if it's animal-based, or if you're a plant-based human, it's probably not going to be as bioavailable, readily able to get into your system, such as eggs, chicken, beef, whatever it may be that you're eating, plants, and if you're having a plant-based protein, make sure that it's a combination of pea and rice protein. That way you're getting the full amino acid effect, or just add in the essential amino acids to get the effect that it's supposed to have, to trigger that protein synthesis or muscle building. So here, this is rapid assimilation, meaning it gets into your system fast. Pure whey protein isolate, low temperature processed, cross flow microfiltered. Mix is super clean, super easy. Yes, it's got some other things in it that a lot of people aren't satisfied with. That's why they buy those other proteins. One that I would trust is the Steak Shake by Mark Bell. Other than that, if the company's not telling you how it makes its protein, which you could potentially find it on their website. So again, that's why I'm not spitting out any names of different companies, but if they're not telling you how they're processing their supplements, protein especially, they're probably processing it at high temperatures because they can produce more faster, and then it becomes denatured, and it's not gonna have that similar effect that Whole Foods would have. So just a little snippet there, but shake it up. Creatine, carbs, protein post-workout. Get it in the system. If you're not supplementing a carb powder post-workout and you're just doing protein, especially if you're strength training with weights, barbells, kettlebells, dumbbells, bands, machines, cables, whatever it is. I did 2 scoops of this, which ends up being 40 grams of protein. Each scoop is 20. Some of that protein is going to have to, the body's going to process it in a way so that it can replenish the glycogen stores, which this would do for me. It will do for me. That way, all 40 grams can be used to help build back my muscle. None of this has to be utilized to replenish glycogen. That's the job of this, to replenish glycogen in my muscles so that this can then be used to repair the damage that was done during the strength training, the little micro tears in your muscles. So let the protein do its job. Supplement a carbohydrate powder. This is only made up of dextrose. It's got some potassium in it, dicalcium phosphate, magnesium, different vitamins. But yeah, literally just carbs, glucose, boom, back into muscles. Ignition, Formula One, post-workout stack. I grabbed some cheap creatine from Amazon. It's almost empty. Go get it, peeps.